Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here this morning. I think the microphone's on, but most of you know I probably don't need amplification. I'm Jim Smith, the president here at Northern, and it's a pleasure to have you all with us. If you have not been in the newest addition to Northern State University, you can now say you have been in the newest edition of Northern State University. This is the second floor. Obviously, you walked up steps to get here. It is a cardiovascular and weight center. Some of you might notice that there's something missing. There's great flooring. There's really neat carpet. There are super murals on the walls, but the cardiovascular and weight equipment is not here. Any of you who might like to open your checkbook in the next half an hour or so, we do have a funding stream almost developed, but we are also raising money to equip this building as well. We hope to have the equipment in the next few weeks. Clearly, we're still working on punch list issues, and if you get a chance to look downstairs, you can. Those of you who have been coming through, you know what heroic efforts we've made in the last few weeks to be open for commencement and to have folks go through here. Those of you who don't know the building project, below me are men's and women's locker rooms, a very large wrestling room, and then up here we have cardiovascular and weights, and obviously the weights are over there where the heavy padded flooring is. And then if you go to the far eastern side of the first floor will be the offices for our basketball coaches. Men and women's basketball will have their office space there, a conference room, and a nice gathering area as well. So if you get a chance as you go down, we'll let you peek in and look and see where we are thus far. We're not here just to display the Barnett Center today, although that's a lot of fun for us. We're here to talk about our new athletic director. Josh Moon is on day 8. He has not told me that he's thought about packing the moving truck back up, so we think that's a good thing. He comes to us with a lot of excitement, a lot of energy, and a great background in athletic administration. Some of you will know, I need my eyeglasses here to make sure I get everything right. Josh is a former collegiate athlete. He was a football player at Wisconsin lacrosse. He actually played against Northern in the Metrodome and reminds me that he won, and we hired him anyway. Don't rub it in again. He also has great experience at Division I-A and I-AA, having been at Central Michigan University and most recently at Western Illinois University as Senior Associate Athletic Director. Josh's beginning of his career in athletic administration was working with compliance. And those of you who know Division II and know the 3 prongs that we deal with every day in Division II, Josh has a great background and experience in that, and he and Coach Holmes can quiz each other on compliance and equity issues. He has great insights, as I mentioned earlier. He has some very unique thoughts on technology and how we use technology to better amplify what we do here. He is someone that fits exactly what we were looking for. When the search committee asked for me to give them their charge, they said, tell me the things you want. And as we looked at Josh's background and his credentials, it was a match almost on every front of what we were looking for in a new athletic director. I do want to say, before I thank the Athletic Director Search Committee, I also believe that Josh's level of fitness will allow him to run the 40-yard dash a tad faster than Coach Olson or Dr. Smith. I haven't validated that yet, but we have an egg timer maybe to get me down the 40-yard dash and probably not so much for Athletic Director Moon. I want to thank the search committee. Those of you who don't work in universities think that we just put out an ad and we hire someone. There are hundreds and hundreds of hours that go into conducting a search of this sort. Dr. Tom Hawley, our provost, was one of the co-chairs. Todd Jordry, CEO of our foundation. Todd's right here. And then we had a large list of folks that assisted with the search: Don Meyer, Nathan Reedy, Kathy Courtney, Al LaFave, Elise Castigar, Tom Dosh, Jackie Whitlock, Alan Vogel, Tammy Pierce, and Jordan Schaefer. We have someone on our search committees for a position of this nature that really looks at all avenues of what we do in the university. People know that Jordan was a volleyball athlete here. We tried to get someone who had the student experience, recent student experience. We wanted coaches. We wanted folks that had done work in fundraising. We wanted people that knew the academic side of the enterprise. That group came together, worked very hard, and their hard work has now brought forward a new athletic director for Northern State University. It said that my intro should be 3 minutes. Those of you who know me, I can never do anything in 3 minutes. I probably exceeded it by a couple minutes. I will step aside and now have the man of the hour come, and he has his whole family assembled here, so I think he'll do some introductions as well. Josh? Congratulations, welcome. We won't make you put this on, but you can if you will.
Thunder. Thank you, Dr. Smith. Well, I'm extremely excited to be here and part of the Northern family and the Aberdeen community. Thank you all for coming today. And I want to thank the search committee, like Dr. Smith said, Dr. Hawley, and Todd Georgie. Thanks for your efforts in putting the search committee together. It was very professional and very well run. Many people I've worked with in this profession have stressed how important it is to have a strong leadership and a clear vision at the top of the institution. And I think Northern clearly has this with Dr. Smith. I really believe that athletics is a front porch to the institution. I know Dr. Smith believes this and understands the value and importance of a strong intercollegiate athletics program. So I'm very excited to be at Northern, excited to work with Dr. Smith and all of you here in the campus community to get started here to help keep moving Wolves athletics forward. I want to thank Bob Olson. Bob, are you here today? There he is. Bob is a tremendous individual. He is a man of integrity. He's helped build Northern for 30-plus years. Just a special man. I've known him for a couple of weeks, but everyone I've talked to said he's the most genuine man you'll ever meet. So I appreciate, Bob, everything you've shown me so far, and we're going to lean on you moving forward here. So congratulations, Bob. Enjoy retirement, and hopefully don't be a stranger here. So thank you for everything you've done. I'd also like to thank a couple of my mentors in this profession. I think that they've really helped me get to this point in my career. From Western Illinois, President Jack Thomas and Director of Athletics Tim Van Alstine, and at Central Michigan University, Director of Athletics Dave Hickey and Senior Associate ADs Marcy Weston and Derek Vandermeer. And from the Minnesota Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, Dan McCain. Dan gave me my start in athletics about 10 years ago or so. And from the Great Lakes Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, a D2 conference, the Commissioner, Del Robinson, have been great mentors for me, and I just want to publicly thank them for everything they've done for me throughout my career. They've taught me how important it is to run a program with integrity and put student athletes first in everything you do. So that's going to be our motto here, is we're going to be student athlete centered, and everything we do is going to be focused on them. Okay, this is my last thank you. Most importantly, my wife Andrea and my two boys Brady and Kellen. They have hopefully will stay here and sit down the whole press conference, but my little guy is a little energetic, so I'm kind of like his mom, so we're excited to be here. When my wife grew up in Wisconsin, she had thoughts of being there the rest of her life, and then she met me, and we've ventured to Michigan, Illinois, and now South Dakota, so I don't know if the in-laws are too happy with me right now, but we're ecstatic to be here. I think in the last week we've been to Storybook Land about 4 times, so I think this is a tremendous community to raise our children. Brady, what do you think of Storybook Land? It's awesome. It's awesome. So it's just a tremendous community to raise our boys, and we're very excited to engage and interact with everybody here. So it's going to be really, I think when we came up here and saw everything, it's really a no-brainer to take a look at this position because, again, the community support, everything that's going on here I think it's second to none. So very excited about that. I think Northern State has a very proud and rich tradition in intercollegiate athletics, and I think this is what set Northern apart for me. Talking to some people in the higher education world, there's a lot of respect out there for Northern, and I think this was very evident when I started researching Northern and hearing about the good things that are happening from the attendance champions in basketball and this rich story tradition of football. Wolves Athletics has always been about winning with integrity and has been a model of success around the country. So I think that that's evident for people that don't get outside of South Dakota. I think that's evident in the Midwest and Upper Midwest, and I think that's was a great selling point for me when I was looking at the position. I think there's a lot of potential to keep improving and make Northern Athletics one of the premier programs in the country. It's truly an exciting time to be at Northern Aberdeen community. I think you see all the bulldozers and all the construction going on here on campus and in the community. I think that's fantastic. You want to work at an institution with that kind of excitement. Again, basketball and football attendance is better than a lot of Division I schools, so I think that's something that sets Northern apart. You know, that the community support is fantastic, and we're going to hope to continue that, and we're going to need all your help to keep things moving here. So again, it's great to come into the community with that kind of support for intercollegiate athletics. My goal is to provide our student athletes with a championship experience. And what does that mean? That means we want to do everything possible to give them the best experience academically, athletically, and socially. And I think the great thing about Division II intercollegiate athletics is that student athletes are even more embedded within the institution than maybe Division I. From having student athletes perform at Kansas concert a couple weeks ago to the lead in the Phantom of the Opera, I think this is what being a student athlete at Northern State is all about, being well-rounded, and when they graduate, you know, they'll have a leg up on the competition. I think the experiences they get here will set them apart from other people applying for those jobs out there. So I think that's the neat thing about Northern is it's really, you know, it's a small campus, but everybody works together, and it's a pretty neat family. Our staff will be committed to helping provide our student athletes with championship experience, so this can be our objective. The students are why we are here, and I think sometimes we lose focus that, and none of us at the university would be employed if it wasn't for the students. So I think, you know, everything we do, we got to start each day with that focus and put all our energy into try to making that experience from customer service to just the interaction with student athletes our focus. We want to benchmark Northern against our peers in the NSIC and across the country. We need to start looking like schools that we want to be like, set goals, priorities, and generate additional resources so we can achieve these goals. So we'll need all your support here. I know it's been great. We want to continue that support and continue to push everybody in this room to keep Wolves Athletics moving forward and obviously compete for championships and make some noise at the national level. So I'm excited. I'm confident we'll keep things moving forward. And with that, go Wolves, and I'll take any questions anybody has. Priorities is relationship building. I think for me, the staff we have is very strong, the coaching staff and administrative staff. So I think getting those relationships built and trying to understand, you know, the history here and reaching out to people on campus. I've had a few meetings with different individuals on campus, and obviously it's a team approach here from this building to anything you do here. There's multiple people involved, and we want to really build those relationships and then start benchmarking and setting goals to move forward and how do we get there. So I think that's to be the first thing, and then obviously resources and fundraising is going to be a key thing for us moving forward. So I think first 100 days is all about relationships and then getting out in the community. I'm going to need all of your help in here to reach out and engage people in the community and really try to get in front of people and talk about Wolves Athletics. I think that's really important to continue that community support that we have here, and it's so strong. Other questions? Long-term goals, I think for me at Northern State, I think it's really about winning championships and again, providing that student-athlete experience. But I think, you know, we want to compete for NSIC championships. I think that, you know, that the stakes have been raised a little bit with last 4 or 5 years with the NCC schools coming in and resources and all that stuff. So I think that it's very important that we keep pace with some of those schools so we can compete and be there for championships and obviously compete at the national level. That's a goal. I know there's a rich tradition here with a lot of our sports, you know, basketball having national tournament appearances, national championship appearances. So I think looking to build upon that and get to that point consistently with our programs. So first would be compete for championships. In you know, some sports are funded differently, so I think there's different expectations. But I think that we have great coaching staff here in place. Everything I've talked to has been wonderful, and I think there's a lot of potential here to keep things moving. Yes, I think that intercollegiate athletics, it is about academics first, and talk about the three prongs there at academics, athletics, social development. I think academics is first and foremost, and we want to work closely with everyone on campus, professors, faculty, to keep that in focus. I think the thing we take a lot of pride in athletics is having a better GPA than the student body, and I think there's a higher expectation as a student athlete here. I think when you come to sign the NLI or you come to walk on at Northern, you got to take that responsibility. It's a privilege to be a Wolves student athlete here. So I think you got to embrace that privilege, and then everything you do, from academics to how you act downtown or out in the community, it's really important that they understand that. And so I think for our student athletes, it's a privilege. It's not a right. It's a privilege to be here, and we want to make sure we're doing everything with integrity, and that, again, academics is first, and then athletic social development would come thereafter. So for us, still a very strong point, and I think there's been a great tradition of academic success with our student athletes. Having above hopefully a 3.0 GPA, cumulative GPA would be a goal, but I think we're right at that point in the ballpark there, so I think that'd be a goal moving forward. Yeah, it's a great question. The attendance here is phenomenal. I think that, again, at the national level, it's been recognized. I think there's a lot of things that you can look at from, we've partnered with the marketing students here on campus. I think there's a great potential there to keep that going. I think, looking at the way, the way we structure tickets and a Wolves Club is very important. So I think, obviously that's our backbone to our athletics and funding scholarships. So probably getting out in the community and trying to find different ways with businesses to buy in and corporate events, things like that, to get people in the door to kind of see the good news that's going on in this building. Because I think once you come in here and you witness an event and you witness 5,000 to 6,000 fans for a basketball game, it kind of sells itself. I think everyone leaves here with a good time, and they see the student athletes working hard, and they see this facility. So I think once you get people here on campus, then they can start hearing about the other good things. Just like recruiting, I think this building really helps attract general students as well, non-athletes. I think they come and see that. They see construction, just like the University Center and obviously this building. It gets them excited about coming to campus, and seeing different things. And we talk about front porch of athletics, and I think that means that we're sometimes the first thing that people see about Northern. We've got a lot of students from all over the country and all over the world, and we're oftentimes the bridge to get them here. And then once they get here, then they blossom and develop into the student athletes and great students. Quiet group today. Any other questions? The move was great. Yeah, everything went smooth. We got in last week, so I think we're just getting adjusted. The wind is, I guess I wasn't ready for the wind, but my understanding is that's something that we're going to have to embrace really quick here. Illinois, it's a little more, I don't know, it's hotter, I guess, but we weren't used to that. But everyone told me before I came up here that just be prepared to have fun with the wind. So I know I'll have to get a snowblower and embrace that concept as well. So I'm looking forward to the winters and all the wind up here. But it's been good. The move was great. We have moved in, able to find a house right away, and everything is going good. We're still unpacking boxes, but yeah, we had a great moving crew, and everything went good. So. Well, I think nationally, in terms of what the NSIC has done in the last 5 years, I think it's clearly made a step up in terms of, we referenced, 2000 when NSIC was playing the D3 Wisconsin League. It was probably very similar, and I think in the past 10 years, that's really taken a step forward with national titles that, that the basketball has won and football has won in the conference and some other sports. So I think talk about the stakes being raised, and I think that it's one of the probably 3 best conferences in Division II. So there's a lot of importance on athletics with those institutions. So I think it's a great conference to be in. I think what the conference is doing, the leadership of the conference is really pushing things forward. So, again, I think it's an exciting time to be here and be a part of that. Any other questions? Yes, sir. Yeah, my wife and I grew up from Wisconsin. I grew up in a town called Watoma, which is, a fun fact, is a Christmas tree capital of the world. So I actually, my first job was shearing Christmas trees for, I think it was $4 an hour. Interesting job, but that was the first job I actually ever had. And then met my wife Andrea at Wisconsin La Crosse in her undergraduate program. And Andrea's from a town called Mauston, which is by Wisconsin Dells. So if anybody's ever been to the Dells, that's kind of where she's from. And then we moved to Michigan to go to grad school at Central Michigan, and I ended up working there for about 5 years. And then we moved to Illinois, where I was there for right around 3 years, and then now we're here. So that's a little bit about the background. I've got a brother in Plymouth, Minnesota. I've got some family up in the Twin Cities, so it was nice to get a little closer to them. I'm still trying to navigate the Highway 12 to Aberdeen route. I think it's a little scary here, but I was telling people I knew when I was getting close to South Dakota, because you could, on the 2-lane road, you could really pass pretty easily because it was so flat, you know. So that was good. I'm like, we're getting close, Tony. We're getting close to South Dakota, because you could see about 10 miles in front of you. So that was an interesting drive. It was good. But I'm looking forward to being closer to Minneapolis and family up there. So it's exciting to be here. Fishing, Wolves in the Water this weekend, an exciting tournament. I think I will be learning, hopefully with some good mentors there that can help me with the fishing. I have fished before. I used to go up to the Boundary Waters and do that with my dad up in Ely, Minnesota, and things like that. But we just, I think in athletics, sometimes it's so crazy that you never really do some of those things you want to do. So I know there's a lot of people that hunt and fish in here that could be great mentors for me to try to figure things out. So I think I'll watch you, Coach Tim, this weekend, and you can learn from the best. All right. Thank you very much for all coming today, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
I know the media have a few questions for Josh afterwards, and we'll do that. Others of you, you're welcome. We have water over here. You're welcome to stay and introduce yourself individually to Josh. And are you going to do the tour, Mr. Jordry? You're going to take a tour downstairs? Mr. Jordry will not get lost. He's done about 50 of these. So if you'd like to see downstairs, we'll be happy to take you through the men's and women's locker room, wrestling room, and into the new coaching facility. Excuse me. Thank you all for being here. Josh, thank you for getting your family up and dressed and all ready to go early this morning. I understand a little one sleeps about every hour on the hour, and then he's up for an hour, and then he sleeps for an hour. So when you get old, that's what you do normally. But some of you can relate to that a little better with me than having a youngster in your house. Again, thank you very much. Thank you for being here. And as Josh said when he finished his introduction, I always finish with the same two words: go Wolves.